Sorry about that. One second. We have our main Zoom that's been used, and so hopefully it won't cut off again because the team are going to realize that we're live using it now. Let me just hold on. Let me just sort myself out again. 1 second. Um, if the if the team cancel it, it's because they're on a meeting right now. 1 second. Okay, so look, you should be able to pump in the chat box. Let me frame what's happening now. And 1 second. Let me get my screen up. Hi again from Chicagoland, Elena. What up? What up? What up? What up? In today's session, I can see loads of you attending. Got Amanda, Angie, Chris Porter, Cody, Doug, Eleanor, Grizel. I got Gueda, Hannah, Jerome, John. Let me know where you're coming in from. In today's session, quickly, what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be answering. You can answer live as well, but specifically, I'm going to be covering the most asked question was how to pick a niche. Then I'm going to give you a detailed understanding of how I got through my niches. And I got lots of questions around that. And that will really help you get clarity on how to actually get a client result and solve client's problem. Jerome asked loads of questions around building strong relationships and how to create boundaries in that. I had loads of questions in growing and getting clients, so I'll answer that as well. And then Olga, if I get time, I'll specifically go through specific tools of how you do what's in the expert coach. Okay, and so look, our coaching team are live. They might have spoken to you at some stage, just so you know that they're real people, and we call you just to check you're okay, and you're going through the stuff, and you're actually going through the process. But look, just on the replay, this is for the replay, guys. If you're new to the community, this is our expert coach community, and I'm going to put this out live so you can send it to other people as well. If you want to join, you can go to www.freeexpertcoach.com and become certified as a coach and join the best community that's going to be around. There's nothing going to be like it, all right? And so it's www.freeexpertcoach.com. And look straight up, 1 second, let me move that chat box out 1 second. You're going to get access to, 1 second. You're going to get access to my expert coach certification program. And look, I paid a lot to learn from the best so I could become the best. I personally trained with John Grinder, Richard Bandler, who co-created NLP. I paid them 20 grand, Tony Robbins 30 grand. Personally trained with Dr. Chad James and Dr. Anna James, 20 grand. I spent this much on my certifications, well over 536 on my education. I built my own certification program because I needed a quicker way that works in today's market, which is online, on Zoom, without having to do closed eyes techniques. Not that that's a problem, but it's just like, it's easier to use. And so just by going through it, you become a qualified expert coach in 2 governing bodies. Some companies charge like 5 grand, 10 grand, 37 grand to certify you in the skill of that. We charge 5 grand if you pay right now, or you go to our home-based website, you can see it right now. So, the reason I'm showing this is so you realize that it's actually super valuable. And we've got real clients doing that right now. Okay. And so you get access also to breakthrough coaching templates, over 20 different templates I designed myself over a period of time that you can use in a range of different niches, plus me going through that with you so you're kind of working on yourself. It works in any niche: life coaching, relationships, confidence, whatever, healing, business, you name it. And again, like, the biggest problem in today's market is getting client results. So complicated coaching techniques, lack of practice, lack of coaches to support you, confidence is low, competence is low, skill is low, results tend to be low, belief is low, low self-worth, fear of not good enough, self-sabotage, negative internal voice, imposter syndrome, don't sell yourself, undercharge, and thus don't make enough, and then you give up. I don't want that to be your problem. So that's why I'm giving this away for free. If you don't know my personal story, I jumped out in front of a train when I was younger, got pulled back, got a second chance. That's how I went into coaching, and I fell in love with it. Coaching saved my life, and I can hope that it just saves yours too. And so come and join our coaching community. If again, you're watching this on the replay or someone has sent this to you, I'll be super pumped to help you out. And again, look, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get properly certified. And those that are currently going through it, this is now for you. All you need to do it is complete the modules, all right? Just go through the modules. It's super cool and it's super quick and concise. Send us a recording of you going through a coaching session with a client so we can review it. Then complete the coaching assessment document, this is in start section module number 3. And then just complete the feedback and you're good to go, and we can send you those certifications. And look, sometimes people go, oh, certifications aren't worth it, right? But it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like once you have that stamp and you're like, oh yeah, this is another one. Collecting certifications does allow you to become more confident because it creates more competence knowing what you're doing. If you'd spent 536,000 on your education, you'd be really good. So look, if you haven't already, join freeexpertcoach.com, come in and join with us. Let's tear up. So let's go in today's session. All right, I'm going to answer your questions. And again, specifically, whatever questions that you have off the back of it. So today's session, how to pick a niche. All right. And again, like some of you already have a niche, you'll still find this valuable. I'm going to share with you a specific tool, how that you can constantly compound on your niche, and like a little framework that you can use that I still use so that you can actually make sure that you're really getting close to your client's problem. You're building good data to understand how to market effectively. If you understand your client's problem better than they do, you become an expert in their world. So I'll do some detail on the niche, but in the meantime, I'm going to go down to what gave me Layla asked, what gave me the confidence at the time to create a package for quitting smoking when you weren't when I wasn't a smoker. So I started because, as I said, I had bad times. I was young and I was going through like some dark times in my mind. And I just constantly felt like I was failing. I was failing at school. I got 3 E's at school. I was never good at school. I didn't know how to learn stuff. And I was constantly thinking, I'm just not good enough. That was the constant frame. I was always last in class. And, I became like a practical joker where I'd pretend like I don't care about it. And it's all really funny. But deep down, it would really get to the core of who I am, because I just, and I would work hard, but it was like my brain wasn't quite getting the information. And so I went through quite a lot of psychometric testing when I was younger, because my parents were quite concerned. I went to a psychotherapist when I was younger, and they said that I had like ranges of ADHD, dyslexia, I had concentration problem, all of this. And it was like, like my brother and my sister were very intelligent, and they just couldn't quite get how I wasn't getting life. And basically, if you fast forward to today, basically brains interpret information differently. And so what I learned through going through the coaching process was that my visual stimulation is actually not that good, and I'm more auditory and kinesthetic, which means that you just learn in a different style. And so for many years, I was shit at learning. And then, tried to jump out in front of a train. I had a really overwhelming day, got pulled back, got sent to different therapy, and I got sent to a coach, and I fell in love with the process. And that was the first step. So I started to believe that I could learn. That was a massive belief. Like, I didn't believe I could learn. And so I started to learn stuff, go to courses. I trained as a personal trainer. So I started working in a gym, and I started training in like different sorts of certifications. And I was young. It was in 1996 when I first started, 43 years old now. So it's a long time ago when coaching wasn't a thing. And so I used to just go to courses and learn stuff and then try to apply it as best as I could. And what happened was I basically started like in the fitness niche, getting myself into good shape. And then I helped other people do that. Then through the coaching and doing that sort of stuff, I wanted to help men specifically with depression. So I started to do that, right? And then what happened is I still had the fitness niche at the same time. And so I ended up getting this client called Lorraine, who was 22 stone. And I spoke to her in the gym, and for the Americans, it's like 400 pounds. Anyway, we won a Weight Watchers competition. We lost like 10 stone, so half a weight. And then I found myself attracting loads of really obese women, where I'm fast forwarding years here. And then I found myself, a specialist in obese women. And then from that, I went into what happens when you help people lose weight is that they want to go and relate to other people. So they want to try and create a relationship. So that's how I found myself in relationships. And I found myself in a relationship as a relationship coach without a relationship and having never been married. And I specifically focused on married couples and helping them reignite their passion for each other, because I had at that stage fully mastered my own self. So I'd mastered my relationship with self. And so I felt like it was a natural step to go to that next step. And through, as I was helping other people with relationships, so I'm getting to the point here, that was when I started helping people with a relationship with food, their relationship with drugs and alcohol. And when someone asked me, a friend of a friend, said this guy does like different phobic responses, and he said, could you help someone stop smoking? I was 24, 5 at the time, and I'd never done it before. And I thought, again, well, let's give it a go. And all of the frameworks that I've used over the time are in the Expert Coach, just so you know, and they're all there. So like, you know, as you unlock level 4, you get all of the coaching frameworks, so you can see them all there. And I did a range of those different frameworks with a client. My first client was this guy called Sanj, and I didn't know it was going to work. And so I remember him saying to me, right, do you know how to do this? And I said, that's not the question you need to ask, because technically I didn't really. And he goes, I said, that's not the question you need to ask. I just avoided asking it why. I didn't want to give him a limitation, and I didn't want to give myself a limitation. So I said, you know, like, the question is whether you want to give up or not. And he goes, no, I do want to give up. And he goes, have you helped lots of people give up before? I said, again, I don't want to give this limitation out because I hadn't. So I was like, again, that's not the question you need to ask. The question you need to ask is, are you ready to give up now? And he goes, like, I think I am. And he goes, will you know this will 100% work? And I go, again, I don't think that's the question you want to ask. The question you need to ask is, are you ready to make a decision that's going to transform your life today? And so look, you know, if you've gone through most of the material, you see a lot of it is question based. And as you start to bring awareness to questions and you bring awareness to how people think, like, all of their language creates their reality. And so their reality is created in their language. And the more you listen and help people become more concise on language, I promise you, it'll break you free. So that's how I ended up helping other people to stop smoking. And then I only did that for about 2 years. It was fun for a period. I had a relatively successful clinic with a 98% kind of, you know, success rate, but I was doing a lot at the time. And so I ended up sending it to another business off the side of it. It was an Alan Carr kind of franchise, stop smoking franchise. And I sold the client list to that. But it was super exciting because I'd never done that before. And yeah, I didn't have Layla asked, you know, I didn't have any training or experience in that, but I had an understanding to how to use coaching frameworks. So that's why, like, we've built the Expert Coach with gamification so that you can actually start practicing it. And I think one of the biggest challenges today is we live in a very learning world where people learn, and coaching is something you have to do. And I want to push you into just taking action. Like, there's so many ways of which you can, like, get hold of people, get them on the phone and practice. Like, you should be speaking to people day in, day out, right? And practicing, like, hey, look, I can help you get outcome. And it's, you know, when I started learning this stuff, I was so passionate. I was sitting there in courses learning, and I'd go out and practice it straight away. And we didn't have social media. And so don't think, oh, it was easier back then, because what? There was no easy ways to access people. You just walk around, and like, day in, day out, whenever I walk around, I can always interacting with people and seeing if I can leverage a transformation in some shape or form. Not because I'm trying to get clients all the time, but it's just it's who you are. And I'm not like sitting there forcing people to make change. It's just we become curious of nature, and I'm just fascinated to why people say what they do, and I'm fascinated to how behavior creates recurring patterns over and over again. So that enabled me. I'm just making sure I've answered this. So that's what I've done there. Did you have any existing training experience working with addiction? No. I did try to expand out into alcohol and drugs, and it became too much. So smoking was like really good. It was really good for a good 2-year period, but I was too busy with other things as well. So, and I decided it wasn't my passion, and I don't have that story. And it was just purely like, can I do this? What enabled me what enabled you to know you could correctly diagnose the treatment problem? I mean, I didn't know. That's the thing. However, I set up the conditions for that session, and he was either going to die during that session or he was going to quit smoking. So I set the scene. So I'd read some different stuff about that. If you wanted, again, like, this wasn't a scalable process, and I had to create a more scalable process. But the first time I did it, I arranged to meet him at 4 a.m. in the morning. The reason being is it sets a weird time for your mind. I pre-text him saying, only turn up if you're wanting to quit today. I met him outside a news agent's. I've made him pay £300 plus his fee on top of the session, which he'd already paid for cigarettes. And he was like, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. You are crazy. I mean, why would you spend like thousands over 10 years, right? Smoking is just such a stupid decision. And so all I'm asking you is just to spend 300 more. What's the big difference? And he was like, I don't want to. And I was like, you don't have a choice. It's part of the session. So I forced him to make that payment, which again, you're creating pain, right? That the goal of it is you create pain around a process. Great coaching stimulates pain. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you need to stimulate pain so people move through it, right? And use that pain to go, like, I need to make a decision. You've all had those moments in life where you go, enough's enough, I can't move forward, I can't handle. And that's what great coaching is stimulating, right? Pain, right? So that they can actually realize, right, that they're going to create a problem unless they do something different, right? And some people, no matter how much pain you create in their life, they won't do anything about it. That's why people die of smoking, over and over again. They haven't experienced enough actual pain. They're consistently avoiding the reality of what they're doing. And so you're doing it with kindness because you care, because you actually want that person to move further forward. And in today's world, that's not the easiest because everyone's a little bit sensitive. And we live in a bit of a snowflake environment. You say one thing out of their experience, and so it's that you have to understand the kindest. This is a concept that I wrote about. I'm writing a new book at the moment called Untriggerable. But like, the concept is take advice, right? The kindest advice, the nicest advice, is something that aligns with the client's thinking, because they're comfortable with it. It makes sense to them, and they're like, oh yeah, that's really kind for you to say that about my problem, right? Whereas the unkindest advice does not align with their thinking, right? And so think about now, client. What does client need to do? They need to change their thinking to move further forward. So the kindest advice aligns with their thinking, so they do the same thing. The unkindest advice doesn't align with their thinking, so they do something different. And so the unkindest advice can become the kindest advice if they move forward. You just have to frame things carefully so it's not too abrupt. If you listen to how I frame, very good at framing, so I can literally say anything I want after I've framed it. So that's how I ended up. Oh, this is a cool one. That guy. So I did this session and I took him through, again, like, the Gestalt therapy framework is in there. Took him through swish patterns, that's in there. I took him through a belief change, that's in there as well. So that's in the coaching team frameworks. I did anchoring, that's also in there. And we got to the end and he was smoking the whole way through, and he goes, I can't smoke anymore. And I was just like, you're going to keep smoking? And I kept forcing him to smoke till he override that decision. And then when he finally overrode it, he was like, never again, never. You can't control me. I'm never touching these ever again. And then he went and left that session. His wife was booked in as well. So he went back home, right? He told his wife what happened. They were both smokers. And his wife instantly stopped smoking on hearing what happened in the session. So that's belief transference. So, and still today, I still get a text every single Christmas. He always sends me a text. It's another year, another year. So yeah, it's a fascinating thing, the human brain. So look, back to Leela's question. I'm drawn to working with couples, but I haven't received any of training in this field. And so, as I said, I went into couples therapy to train couples. number one, because again, like relationship therapy is amazingly fun. It's like a theater show, because it's the one sort of coaching where people will have to like they have to like pull the mask off. And if you get those moments where they're like absolutely honest to God truth, like that's where you like see the real human as they are without all the masquerades. It's beautifully entertaining. So I got into it because I was really fascinating about it. But again, like you don't have to have, when we're going to the niche, you don't have to have, like, I didn't have a relationship and I wasn't married. But what I did have was I had a lot of clients that had already helped because they'd come to me initially with fitness, and therefore I was going in with experiencing, knowing how to deal with relationships. And I'd done decent training. I'd gone to the Gutman Institute in Canada, which is he's like he's wrote some absolutely killer books, like the 7 Laws of Marriage or something like that. And he taught me a really amazing evaluation process where you basically evaluate a couple in the first 15 minutes behind a glass, so they can't see, and you give them cues and stuff like this. So you see how they interact, and you're looking for like sensory awareness around the little words, because the truth is that a relationship breaks up not on the big thing, but the small things, like like how you pick an avocado, or like how you decide to walk the dog or together. It's like the little things and those cues. And as part of the Gutman study, you get a evaluation of how, again, it's just an estimate, it's not like solid, but it's like, you'd get an evaluation of how successful your relationship potentially can be. So it's really cool. Hey Laura, how are you? I can still see you. Okay, so how to best work through a plethora of ideas. The best way to do that, again, I would say Laura's one on my team. I'm going to go through niche. Let's do that now. So again, every niche works, guys. We've had every client on every single niche. Like, again, I hear you on that, but it's like I hear you like, oh, which niche is the best? They all work, right? Again, like you have to want to do the niche. So for example, like I could make any work niche, but there's certain niches that I just wouldn't want to do because I'm not passionate about that niche. So forget comparing other people's niches. So we've had clients in every niche: hairdressing, speaker, mindset, salon, leadership, relationship, emotional eating, branding, corporate dentist. I mean, like Laura, I remember when she came to me, like she helps other dentists. I mean, that's like she was a dentist and she now helps other dentists like manage their finance, manage their emotions. It's just like a super, at the time I was like, that's interesting, right? Someone like Helena, right, helps army people transition into, when they finish the army, transition into what they call civvy life, right? And so her husband was in the army. She helped him transition out of the army into a good career, right? So she had one result of that. How cool is that? And so then helps other people do the same thing. And so dating, video create, all of those things work. I think the more obscure sometimes the niche is today, if you have the right support, it's going to be a game changer. Again, someone like I talk about Veronica a lot. She's in the update of one new book. She's a client for many years. She came work with us. I'm actually launching one of her dating programs tomorrow. But for example, Veronica came through. She didn't have a niche, and she came through a mindset offer that we had at the time. Then she started kind of like working for us, and then she created her offer whilst being around our community, and that was specifically helping women to have orgasms. Because as she started to speak more to more women, she realized that she couldn't do this either, and so some women can't do this, right? And so she actually went to a camp in New York, and they teach her how to have an orgasm. So she went there. Little on the side, I know this might sound a bit weird, but she was doing our sales for us at the time, and we bonus our clients in our team. And I found out that this was a problem for her, so I put a bonus for her to pay for her training. So me and my partner Dave, as in my business partner, sent her to this camp in New York, 5 grand as a bonus, like go and have an orgasm. How cool is that, right? And yeah, so she learned how to do that. She came back and she goes like, what do I do now? And I was like, we teach other people how to do that. And so she kind of fully launched her circle before COVID, and then it was still going through in COVID. And then she now has phased that into not only doing that, but understanding dating and understanding relationships as well. So like we all start from somewhere. The easiest place to start from is a problem that you've had, and now you're overcome that problem. And she again had no really, and she's not a doctor. And you may think that's not a big deal. To help people with a very specific medical problem like that, lots of people would, tend to think you need to be a doctor. She's not a doctor. She had about a year of actual like coaching experience when she really went into it. And then, as I said, she started with no clients at all. We all start with no clients. I started in the depression niche with no clients. I never forget my first client within that niche, someone I still speak to today. And I remember when I was taking him through stuff, you all have these moments. He's called Darren. He became one of my closest friends. And I remember I was having like a tough time with the rejection of like getting other people on board, because they're like, oh, like you're just the big thing with less so nowadays is that people used to be like, oh, you're taking advantage of vulnerable people. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, would you prefer they take drugs, or would you prefer they don't get the help? I'm like, I was a vulnerable person. I got help. I feel better now. Why wouldn't I want to do it? And some of the people saying that were like some of my closest friends that I grew up with. And they're like, what gives you the right, to go and do this? And I was like, I don't need a right. It's like my calling. Like I want to do it because I used to feel like shit, and now I feel much better, and I understand how my mind works, and I want to give that back to people. Why would I not? And yeah, so when you start with one client. So yeah, back to Darren. I had this day, it was a shitty day, rejection left, right, and center. And I was like, I don't think I'm any good at this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be great at doing this. And he goes like, you can't give up. You transformed my life. You've did it. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me that? I need to hear this. That's why you need to get those testimonials. You need to collect them as they go along, because you're going to get those dark days, and keep people in high spirits. It's a big part of it. Right. Okay, cool. Let's get down to niche. All right. You guys having a good time? Specific questions? Are you pumping them in for me? Okay, cool. So look, every niche has to have has a context, health, wealth, or relationships. So for example, even Helena, helping people transition into civic life. That's a wealth niche, because you're a better career. All right. And so you go, well, what is orgasms? Well, orgasm is health, right? It's a health niche, right? Dating, relationships, divorce, okay, addiction in health, obviously business, video creation. And then so you'll go, well, I want, just mindset, or I want confidence. You can't have confidence without an outcome. So you can't have mindset without an outcome. You can't just empower people without an outcome. So you have to, take empowerment, right? Confidence, mindset, these are processes, right? They're processes to get where? To an outcome. So we always have to have a specific outcome, right? Anxiety, so that ideally, anxiety is a good problem. So people suffer from anxiety, but so you can do better at what? Career, or you can be better at dating, right? That's a better anxiety offer, right? It's not just anxiety on its own. And so it's like, like we don't get on a flight and we just want to fly around. We need to, hey, look, I'm on the plane. Woo, it's cool. That's not what it's about. We have to have the outcome, right? And so we have to have the destination. And so even if you go, I don't really want to put a destination in, I promise you, if you put a destination in, empowerment to do what? In confidence to do what? Right? I want to level them up to do what? Transform their life to do what? Put in the to do what, so that they can get a specific outcome. The clearer you are on the outcome, the easier it is to get a client result, the easier it is for them to, buy into the process. For example, like you help someone with alcohol, right? You can't just like, hey, look, I want to drink less. Like people that want to drink less aren't going to buy $2,500 coaching. They're going to buy the people that want to stop drinking are the people that want to stop drinking. That's the end outcome, right? And so put more specific outcomes. It's much easier to sell. So health, wealth, relationships, right? Tons of sub niches within the core niches. There's millions of clients within these niches. You don't have to go, like the more specific you are, the better. Target them so you can stand out with your ideal client. The client has been targeted with generic offers over and over again, which means your offer can stand out if it's more specific. Again, whether you're going organic marketing or paid, I talk about best strategies today. Organic is never going to get you anywhere. You know, like it's just, you can post online all day and nothing happens, right? We've got 59,000 on Instagram, nothing happens. We get like such low reach. Your post is dead within less than a couple of 10 minutes or so. And it's like, you just need quicker ways. Okay, happy to talk that to you at the end. Helping 35 plus women escape the problem of bloating, specific niche, right? Helping 40 plus men escape the problem of no muscle, right? Helping career-driven women escape the problem of losing weight as a vegan, very specific. Helping 30 plus men escape the problem of being depressed and lost, right? Helping 20, 25-year-old girls escape the problem of lack of self-love. So specific. Wealth, again, tons of core niches within this, millions of clients within these niches. I think people worry about going too specific because they think there's not enough clients there. But the client, again, today's world, they've been generically targeted. All right, imagine I did this for a consultancy client recently. He was a personal trainer, and you know, chose my words very carefully. Like halfway through, I'm getting gay vibes, and I said, "Dude, just why are you not targeting gay men?" He goes, "I didn't think that would work." And I'm like, "Are you gay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm super gay." I'm like, "Cool." So like, think of the client, right? Right, they get a choice between buying from like just a generic trainer, trains men and women, all ages, versus a guy trainer that looks really good and he specifically focuses on gay men. And you go to the testimonials and there's loads of gay men. If you're a gay man looking for a gay trainer, it's just like attracts likes. You're like, okay, who am I going to pick? Right. And there's loads of, you know, men that want to get fit, and is a gay man going to understand a gay man better? Of course, right? Versus, you know, like that's what we want. We want to be understood, heard, and cared for. And so we're always looking for someone that's going to get us. And the more like, you know, that's why your first avatar is really good. Because I was really good at helping men with depression because I was a man, young man with depression. So I understood the whole process. Make sense? So look, the more specific, the more your offer stands out. Within the Welsh niche, you don't have to specify male or female, right? You don't, because it's very clear on the problem, and the outcome is much easier. Not easier, just it's clearer. Helping men with a problem of lack of money through serviced accommodation property. Helping professional women escape the problem of not knowing how to grow their LinkedIn. Helping speakers escape the problem of not knowing how to get paid speaking gigs. Helping dentists escape the problem of not knowing how to start a side gig. Helping women of color with the problem of making sales by using video. So it's like, again, just specific. There are tons of sub niches, again, relationships, and millions of clients within these. The more specific you get, the easier it is to stand out. And that's what you need to do today, right? Helping 40 plus women escape the problem of not attracting the right man so that they can attract stop attracting the wrong one and attract the right one. That's a clear outcome, right? And do you need to do mindset coaching? 100%. All offers contain mindset coaching, right? It's just putting the container into it. It's putting the context like a front and beginning, right? Helping professional 35 plus women escape the problem of attracting low value men. Helping men escape the problem of attracting the wrong partner. Helping couples escape the problem of an expensive divorce. Helping women escape the problem of grief after the loss of a loved one. So again, doesn't matter that there are, you know, and also don't worry about, oh, you might think there's loads of people doing it. I promise you, there's way more people with the problem than there are people that are willing to go down the solution. There's a lot less of us that want to help others than there are people sitting there with the problem. Millions of people. Divorce is at the highest rate. Obesity is still on the massive upright. I mean, obesity, come on. Eat less, burn more. It's never getting more complicated than that, but people are stuck in their own emotional patterns. Plus, there's so much overwhelming information. So that makes sense. So like when you don't target a sub niche, you don't call out your ideal client, you don't increase your sales count, you spend more money on marketing, you don't get increased referral rates, you're competing against market leaders, right? You get different types of testimonials. Testimonials have to be like, imagine, let's go back to the gay trainer. I'm not saying you have to pick what sex. I'm just saying it's a great example. It was in my mind. Please don't hit me with, you know, like what it works in any context. I'm not saying you have to pick by that, right? Just being clear. right? And so think about your testimonials. If you, like, for example, you're a female coach, you're just getting started, the easiest people to attract to are females. So focus on females only, right? So that when people come to a testimonial, there's just loads of females, right? So it's like, oh, okay, they're cool. They look like me, right? They're the same, you know, you can't have like, I did some consultancy from a beauty brand. Some of their clients were like 60, some of their clients were 20. And I'm like, do you know how different that looks? It's like, you know, look, a 60 face and a 20-year-old face. I was like, so who's your ideal cut? And she was like, oh, everyone. I'm like, we can't have everyone. It doesn't work like that. So when we have referral-based business, we want people to refer people that are just like us. And so that's how we roll. It's just much harder to grow if you are too generic. That's all. And so look, when you target sub niches, you can call out an ideal client more specifically, and who are you going to choose to work with? Someone that's like really specialist in one area to begin with, or someone that's more generic? You want a specialist, right? In today's, your most valuable skill is your personal time, and you're selling one-to-one coaching. You should all be selling one-to-one coaching first. You get 50 clients through, you got 50 testimonials that you've individually worked. You put all of that on your organic platform. So every Instagram, all it is your client testimonials. You don't need to post anything else, run ads, and then just drive people back to the same funnel over and over again, right? That's the most profitable to get 10K consistent. So you're banking like an extra 120K, and then you can build from there, right? And so you save money on marketing, you get increased referral rates. It's quicker to be recognized as an authority in your niche. You build testimonials that attract the same client. You build trust quicker, you grow quicker. So again, like I started pre-social media, but I had all my testimonials were, you know, when I was in that depression niche, right? It was just guys upon guys upon guys, right? So like, you imagine like I'm having problems trying to talk and sell, you know, someone else that's a guy, and like, well, this is, you know, this is Dan. He had the same problem. His Jacob, his Tom, his Gary. Do you know what I mean? It's like, these are all the same person, same problem. See what I mean? Okay. So look, this is a really cool exercise. You can write this down, screenshot it. The question is, what is the core problem you can hook them in on? And you don't have to answer it straight away. I know like your different stages of the journey, right? What is the exact specific outcome you can give them? Again, you don't have to have it straight away. Like just don't get tied up with this being perfect. It's like trying to ride a bike. You can't read to ride a bike. It doesn't work like that. Right? You can't understand balance till you get on it and then you ride it. That first ride is never going to be as good as your 15th ride. It's the same concept, right? So coaching is it's not an intellectual process. Like you learn and do, learn and do, learn and do. It's like consultation sales. You have to get more of them through to get better at it. And you learn by doing, not by sitting there just consuming information. Okay. You have to start looking at how can I practice interacting and building up my skill set so I can become someone that actually engages in people. And I get it today. People are like lazy as fuck. They just sit there trying to, I hope it's just going to get better with me, just learning more. And it's like again, like learning information alone is not going to do it. Why? Because like if like you take any area, right, you know, stress, for example, if information alone, right, was able to get rid of stress, then why has everyone got stress? They would have read the book, Get Rid of Stress. And everyone everyone reads it, they get rid of it. You need to work on it. You can actually do things to get rid of it. You need to manage your mind. You have to understand how your mind works. And so this is what you need to teach your client. And so you have to operate in today's world way more doing than thinking. Thinking is not doing. Thinking about doing is not doing. Thinking and making excuses about the doing is not doing. Making, you know, like blaming someone else for not doing is not doing. Building up like a whole notebook of write little tasking and journaling about the doing is not doing. It's just, you can't think too much. You have to do more. That's it. Like, and if I could push anything onto you, I'd operate in active action as much as you can, and you will outperform pretty much everyone in today's world. Like today's world, like your young entrepreneurs growing up, they think they have to have the whole thing sorted before they do anything. That's why no one does anything. They sit there like they're so concerned with what everyone else thinks. They think they have to post 24/7 in order to get a client. They think someone will say this and this. And so that's why you're here. And that's why it's going to be amazing, because the majority will never do anything. How cool is that? There's not actually much competition in your niche. So, right, pricing, picking your niche. What's the core problem you can hook them on? What is the exact specific outcome you can give them? Do other people do it already? Which means it's a, you know, like if other people are already doing it, means the niche works. Even like Lauren, who I showed you in those pictures, and again, like they're holding 10K awards, which means they've easily built bolted on an extra 10K. They are part of our clients automation system, but I'm just saying that the niches work. But yeah, she was helping horse people create horse harnesses, but she was good. Like she knew her tasking, she knew how to do that, and was like hardcore at it, and she was very active. What have you got results in already? What have you got over? What's a problem that you've had? Okay, what were the problems you overcome to get you into coaching in the first place? That's a really good one, right? So think on that, screenshot that, okay, and then at the end of the session do some tasking on it, and then like post it in the community, and I can comment on it and any questions you want on that. Here, shit, let me just put this into a, so it's not like overwhelming your head. 1 second. Let me add, animate, add one of these bits, appear, highlight. Let's do one of these. This is really, really good. I wish I'd known this earlier in life. This is something that you can use for the rest of your business life, okay? Really simple structure. When you're like, you get a spreadsheet, every client that comes through, you're consistent, like how many clients have you had in total in your coaching business? Now, I've actually put this in the coaching log, but this is a bit more detail, right? Coaching log is in the start section. How long have you been coaching for? So you're just tracking how long have you been coaching for. So this is your social proof. There were lots of questions. How do you build trust? How do you build social proof? Right? This is your social proof, right? How many clients have you had? I've had 3 clients. That's fine. Okay, you're probably not going to use that social proof just yet. But if you've got 3 great testimonials, then you use that artfully. You don't need to pretend to be something. But just like I told you with, you know, when I just started that, you know, the smoking niche, the guy said, have you done it before? The question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to quit? Like, because this is not valuable right now. If I say, yeah, I've never done it before, I've never done it, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. All right, that's not good for him. It's not good for me. And I was shitting myself. I was super nervous. I was like, I've never fucking done it before. Like, I was sitting on literally on a rebounder doing an affirmation going, you fucking go, let's go. Let's see what happens. You got nothing to lose. What have I got to lose? He doesn't work. So what? Refund his money. So what? Doesn't matter, right? Just, there's no such thing as failure. It's just feedback, right? You know that 100 times over, but you want to be perfect, and you're not accepting the fact that feedback is the only way you get better, right? So you have to just prepare to, you know, do the best you can with what you have, but take that willingness to be, you know, to be bold. Bold is moving forward with courage, right? And so if you haven't heard that, you know, that feedback process, just so you know that is in the transformational beliefs, all right, which is 1 second, only feedback. I mean, this is well documented, and like, yes, I know people hear it a lot, but do you actually embody that? I know you most people know that today, but do you actually live your life by there's no such thing as failure? Do you really live in no failure? Because if you live in no failure, you can never fail. How cool is that? You don't care what other people think. You don't have any issues about moving further forward because you genuinely take it as feedback. Now, I know this 10 times, 100 times, and yet I watch people go through clients automation and they go, is it working? It's not working. It's not working. It's just feedback to get the message better. It's not working. And look, I'll be straight, it probably won't work the first time. Can it work the second or third? Yeah, but I tested thousands of ads to make that. And you don't have to test like 1 or 2, you know. It's just, in today's world, if you want my honest opinion, can I be honest? People are weak and they lack resources, and because it's not their fault, it's because everything gets easier. in life, that's what technology does. And so people before us would think, oh, you guys have got it easy because, and look, I've been in business a long time, so I've seen business really hard. Like when I first started, it was really hard. We used to have to buy data, right? And then you'd buy data from an email site, you'd pay a membership, we'd spend 30, 40 grand to get people in a room. And then when Facebook and, launched its ad platform, it changed my business life for sure. Like overnight, we could spend, like literally 3 or 4 grand and get, when we first started with Facebook ads, we could get like 300, 400 people in a room. And it was incredible. So it's like life always gets easier. And as life gets easier, we can become less resourceful. We can become weaker. We can become lazier, right? And so it's very important. That's why I like history. And if you haven't read the Lehman Brothers story, they create that bank, and for it to go bankrupt in today's market, and what they had to do to create it. Oh my God! One of the partners in the earliest stages of creating, sailed across 40. It took him 45 days. We're talking 1800s. It took him 45 days to get across to France to sort out a contract. I mean, when have you sailed 45 days to sort out a contract? Probably been a while, and so that's life. And so therefore, if you can live in only failure, there's no failure, excuse me, there's just feedback. How amazing would your life just take one of those principles, and then just the way to do it, just write that principle down, leave it in your, put it in your trousers or your skirt or on your hand or whatever, and then just embrace that and live in that. Just one principle like that. There's no such thing as failure. Like, I haven't failed. And then just notice how your ego comes up and your emotions come up and your triggers come up, and just notice the meanings that your brain wants to give it. And then notice and inquire on why you're feeling that way. Notice how you can change the way you feel by a good morning routine, right? And then notice how your feelings feel about that. And then notice how, if you stay in 100% responsibility for your actions and don't allow yourself to slip into victim mentality, notice how you can feel better, and notice how you can feel and move further forward because of it. So let's go back to here. Yeah, this is just a really simple framework. You can keep this for life. It's really cool. How many clients have you had in total for your coaching business? That's your social proof. How long you've been coaching for, it builds on your coach. And if you've done like career coaching at work, put that in there as well. You've been working for 10 years and been coaching people at work. That's 10 years worth of coaching experience. That's cool. That's genuine. That's like, you got to use what you have in this world. Okay. How long have you had this current offer for? The longer you have the offer for, the more validation that you have. What was the key problem that allowed them to buy from you? So you keep on. This is really important. Number 4, so that you're aware of why people buy you. Like, why do they buy from you? What's the key problem? And a lot of coaches, consultants start with referral. And when you have referral, people are like, oh yeah, people say, oh my God, I had a great session with X, and then, oh, they're great, just go to them. You've got to get clear on what their problem is so you can know how to market to get more people. What have you personally achieved in the specific market, in that market? Like some of it you might not be able to answer right now. It doesn't matter, keep it for the future. I did this for another company recently, sorry. What's your biggest client result so far? Really, really, really important that you collect that. What's your biggest client result? How they said it. Again, get a testimonial. Why? So that you can start documenting it. And so you have case studies and you build up and you're listening to them and thinking about, oh, wow, why was that valuable to you? Like, tell me more about that, because you'll think it's valuable, and they'll say things that you think are not that valuable. Why did they buy from you specifically, right? Ask them, and then build up your list. Here's 10 reasons why people bought from me. Get it? You can see how you use it. Are you getting this? You're paying attention, yeah? All right. Did they renew? Why not? Right? Someone doesn't renew on your package, ask them. How can we, because once you get good at coaching, there should be no reason why they can't stay with you. Like, we all need a coach. Like, I have coaches in every area of my life. I'm doing the piano at the moment, got a piano coach, and like, she holds me accountable every week. I probably have spent a good 10 grand by the end of the time where I hit where I want to hit. And so, it's a great investment. My friend is trying to learn the piano at the same time as me, and he's just doing a little bit of YouTube videos, and I passed my grade one. Yes, big time. Mozart, here I come. But like, it wouldn't have happened without that accountability. And, you know, like, there shouldn't be a reason why one-to-one coaching with like a 1,500 package, easy for a 3-month package, 2,500, easy to map around someone's lifestyle. Again, look, you want to look for professionals, people that have money, that want the problem, that have the problem, they want help, they know that. So you're looking, that's why ads are the quickest way to get the 10%. Okay, Jerome, let me just check in on you guys. How are you getting on? Like, there's like 99 plus questions. Wow, there's so many of you here. It's like there's so many questions. I don't know how I can genuinely get through these. Layla, I've done your questions. I hope that makes sense. I will come back to that chat box. That's aggressively exciting for me to see that. Okay, Jerome, how to man. I'm just conscious of time as well. I don't want to overcook it, otherwise no one will watch the replay either. How to manage the line between strong and supportive friends and being a people pleaser. Are there signs and warnings? And so again, so like with the concepts of this belief structure, you know, like evaluate on behavior. So like you're always going to evaluate on behavior versus trying to judge that person. So for example, you know, like we tend to, and it's almost impossible not to create a pretense of that person. And so, you know, like notice how like some people have like they build up these triggers towards people, you know, like for example, if you're someone that's a giver and you're used to giving, and then you find someone that's like feels like they're taking from you, you know, like maybe they're in a really tough spot, and it's actually because you've allowed too many people to take, that you feel like I dislike how you're, you know, broaching me with this. Remember, everyone's doing the best they can with what they have, so that allows forgiveness to occur. Remember, resistance is a lack of sign of rapport, so therefore always create rapport, and you can always bring those people in regardless of who they are. For example, last night I was in a fight, not me personally, there was a fight outside in the street, and I was like, yes, exciting. I just went out, and there's like this group of guys, and I was like, guys, come on. Brought one side on, the other side then started like building it up. You know, I love conflict, so I'm all about that. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Ended up them all swearing and moving away, but we didn't have a fight on the street, which was great. And so therefore resistance is always a sign of lack of rapport. There was a bit too much shouting, but you know, it is what it is. Accept people problems as they are. But look, at the end of the day, going back to like the origination of the question, it's you have to set boundaries. And when you set boundaries, then there's a knock-on effect, because you set boundary, then you feel guilty. And then as long as you're always doing the best that you can to be as transparent, what you put out comes back to you. Communication is the response that you get. So if you're constantly like assessing, and you can't please everyone. And look, just a little one on pleasing people, like, no, you know, like if you find, like, I've definitely, so don't think I haven't suffered from this. I've definitely wanted to please a lot of people. And the problem with when you are a people pleaser, you do lose a lot of respect as a whole. So if you have strong boundaries, right, then at least people respect those boundaries. If you're still like, hey, look, I'd love to get there, but you know, bang, I can't. And you know, I blocked out time for myself. I'd love to be there. You know, like people ask you to a party, tell the honest truth, right? Versus, you know, like, let me get back to you and see if it's going to be, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can assess, you know, just say that, like, I'd love to say yes, but I can't right now. Don't have my diary. But I'll also, just a heads up right now, I've got a lot going on. It's not that I don't want to be there. I'd love to be there. But at the moment, I've got a lot going on. So I'm going to say no in this moment. I'm going to go back. I'm going to assess if I can fit it in. And if I can, I'll let you know. How does that sound? So again, you're just being clear with like set boundaries. Like, and there's certain people that you know, like my parents, if I do a Zoom at my parents' house, they always walk in from behind me, no matter what I do. I say, look, guys, just a heads up, I'm doing a Zoom, right? And they don't get it. They don't understand. I could be doing a live webinar, could be at someone else's conference. I was once like 600 people live on a conference doing a pitch. my mum comes in. She's like, Edward, we're just wondering. And I'm like, I've told you already. So this sounds really aggressive, but it's not. It's the only way she knows. I just put my hand out like that. I said, I don't say anything at all. I just put my hand out so she can't move past the hand. And I know that I know that sounds awful because it's your mum, but like she can't come in and ask me something I'm about to pitch on someone else's. And I'm like, I don't make a big thing of it. So I'm not like, you see some people, they're like, they're trying to control the environment. I'm like, just hand out. Then I go back afterwards and I'm like, Mum, I love you. I don't mean that in a rude way. Now she knows that. She's, initially at first she was a bit upset with that. But I'm like, Mum, you know that I mean that in a nice way, but I was just about to pitch. She doesn't get it. She never gets it. She doesn't. She called me a professional Zoom person. She's like, what does your son do? He's a Zoom. He's full time. He works for Zoom. And so people are like, how's it working at Zoom? You're like, yeah, it's been great. Yeah. And they're like, so what kind of stuff do you help people get on? And you're like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's just the easiest way to explain what it is and just talk about that I'm a Zoom employer. So how do you forge strong relationships when relationships may not be worth investing to? Again, like you have to be like, you only have so much time. So therefore I would, if you don't think it's worth investing into, as brutal as that is, you can only speak to so many people. Like you've got a baby. I know Jerome personally very well. We've been friends a long time. You've got a baby, you've got a busy life, you're building your business on the side. You literally don't have the time to invest into people that are not gonna either be reciprocated back or they're just not worth it. As brutal as it is, you have to cut people out and like do the best that you can to sustain the relationships that are really worth putting into. I don't have loads of friends because I've got much deeper relationships. I've known people for a long time. I grew up with my 5 core friends. We make sure that we see each other every month. It's challenging, with a full life and a full business to see each other every month. So we make effort to go to spas or do something on a monthly basis. Again, building out your regime according to what you need. It's important to have, those people in your life that you set up that give you support outside of just work. When do you go above and beyond to support the continued growth of a colleague or peer? Again, you have to assess if it's being reciprocated or they're actually wanting it. Again, you've only got so much energy to give. If they're not reciprocating back, as in this is really valuable, you're a valuable resource, Jerome. And so therefore, as brutal as this is, as you grow your business, you can only spend your time doing high income generating tasks. And so what becomes interesting is people always go oh, you do periods of posting. We do periods of posting because it's not high income generating task for us, because it's not that great today to post online. So organically, ads do the majority of it, right? And so therefore we'll do periods. And that's not even it's still our team running it, but and I'm not saying it's not valuable, but it's not the highest valuable task that if you want to generate a serious business. So it's if you constantly monitor and are aware of what's the highest generating task for you, then as you start to progress, you'll always be looking at is this worth my time? Right? Is this valuable for my time? At the moment, I'm really focused on building this, right? Because I want to build a community of thousands of us certified, the moment completely for free. Will I always do it for free? Maybe not, I don't know. But for the meantime, totally for free. Let's see how it goes. And I think it'll be really special. I was thinking for a long time, we want something different. And so it's well worth it. I don't need to, get money back. I just want you guys to be enjoying it, getting value from it, and it building something different, and so therefore it's worth the time. So I hope that helps. Let's do how to grow and get clients, how to build authority and trust. Makodi, again, trust is built on if you understand your clients better than they understand them. So go back to that framework. If you really understand their problem, that's why you've got to be obsessed with really researching clients, understand why they think that, what they think is the solution and why the solution with yourself is better. So for example, for our clients that join COA, I know, for example, if you're going to try and I know that people think organic marketing is going to be cheaper, is going to be easier, but yes, it's free, but it costs you all your time. So if you're someone that is confident at coaching, right, and you've got a couple of clients already in, right, all you need to do is speak to more people. And if you start to get good at speaking to people, then running an ad into a simple funnel so you can speak to more people is the quickest way to get paid clients, right? And so therefore just run a sponsored ad. It's super cheap compared to what it used to be. Ads are better than ever. Before COVID, I was a little bit worried. Why? Because Facebook and Instagram and YouTube had a monopoly on ads. Now COVID literally has flattened that curve, and they're not going up because share price in Facebook is still down. So therefore, ads have never been better than ever before. So trust, like think about, just because you go to a doctor, right? Imagine just they're a doctor. Okay, you've got two doctors. Okay, both got the same certifications, look the same, cool, right? Imagine someone talks to you and they don't listen to you and they don't understand your problem. Do we trust that? No. Someone talks to you and they're like asking the right questions and they really get why you've got the problem. Who are you going to pick? The person that understands the problem. I was having some sleep issues. I've got a dog that has seizures. And so like I was going through this whole process, and I found myself with waking up, checking the dog all the time. So I was like, I need to get some coaching, I need to get some hypnotherapy on this. And so I researched a couple of different people. Some people sent me a referral, and yeah, I looked through some of their client case studies, but that wasn't the decider for me. The decider was who's going to listen the most, who's going to get the problem the most. And the person I ended up hiring had only been doing it for a couple of months, but she was very, very, very like on it. She was active, she was listening, she was like really excited to be taking on me as a client. I was like, yeah, this is great. Same sort of price points, 2.5 grand, 3.5 grand, didn't matter, right? She understood the problem, she listened to me the most, and I felt the most valued. Sorry, just checking the dogs there. How to go from one-to-one to one-to-many. Get your one-to-one coaching clients on, and then as you start to get more one-to-ones, you get to this point where you've got no time left. And then as you take on more clients, right, you start setting out 2 days a week where you do live coaching. So for example, today's Monday and Thursday. So if I speak to a client, I've got no more space, I just do live sessions Monday and Wednesday, right? You get access to me Monday and Wednesday. So you can still, as part of their offer, say they're spending 2,500 for 3 months with you, right? They get some one-to-one touch points, because you're gonna segue out of the one-to-one, right? So they get 6 one-to-ones, and they get 3 months live access to your live Q&As that are Monday and Thursday. And even if just no one turns up, that's fine, doesn't matter, right? And as more people come through, right, you segue, as I said, you got clients that are used to one-to-one, and if it comes to the renewal, you say, just a heads up, I can do a renewal at half price, right? You give them, say it's 2,500 for a 3-month program, right? What you do is you go 1,500 for the same package, but it's slightly less one-to-one points, but you get some live group sessions with myself. And there's other clients there, but it'll be amazing. I'll be helping you together. And again, then you start, the third element of one-to-many is that you create an automated program, but you create that with your clients. Like you guys are seeing, so when I redid Expert Coach, just so you're aware, like I resold it, and I'd had a previous version of it, and I did a whole year of every other month live coaching. That's all they got, live coaching. They paid a little bit more than 5 grand, if I believe they were like near 7, and they got a year live coaching with myself twice. Was it twice a month? I can't remember. Anyway, it was something like that. But there was no program there because I wanted to redo it. So I was just tasking them every single week and month, etc. And then I was like redesigning it because I just wanted a new approach. Because sometimes when you've been doing something for too long, I just wanted to listen to their ideas. And I told them all. I took a group on. There was about 35 of them in total. That was it. And so I just redesigned the group around them. But my point is, all they got access to was live coaching. That was it. They got no syllabus or anything. I gave them the syllabus as I was creating it. Makes sense? Client acquisition strategies, 100% can do. I'm just conscious of time and like other questions. If you do want clients, one of the quickest ways is, again, like getting clear on your niche, right? And like, if you don't have any clients already, you got to reach to your network and you got to get people on a consultation and start understanding. It's, even if you've never sold someone before, just that, let me know if I can help you and coach them for free, right? That's the first tasking in module 1. Start coaching people. You like, if you're not coaching people regularly, you're not going to get good at understanding people. So forget the money, just start get people through the door, right? And so therefore you start designing it with them, right? And look, some of them won't turn up because they don't pay. When you put stuff for free, a lot of people don't turn up. We notice a lot, like, the amount of people that we've got coming through. Of course, people are gonna, they're gonna do something else because they're not invested in, because they're not paying anything for it. But the ones that really want it will keep going. It's a numbers game. Get them on free first. Then look, if it makes sense, as you start to build your confidence and as you've got more clients coming through, you need to learn how to sell properly in a consultation, right? You need to be able to run an ad so that you can get one piece of content. Like, just copy the same framework that I do. And if you want to join Clients and Automation, you're more than welcome. And I give you my entire funnel. We help you create your content for you. We show you how to run that ad. We show you how to do consultation selling. You copy all my frameworks. We give you all your GDPR policy, your contracts for your clients, all the stuff, everything that you need to have a coaching consultancy business. So look, on that, let me do a call to action on that, because otherwise you're left with, like, some of you will want to do that, some of you are not ready, and that's totally cool. But look, if you do want to potentially join Clients and Automation, you can get a growth plan for free with one of the team. It is a real value of $500. If you don't believe me, we sell these on our website. So for business consultancy, but because you're watching this right now, you can get a free growth plan session. What does that mean? That means that we're going to go and take you through the 3 core problems stopping you getting clients. Unreliable lead flow. We'll show you how to automate your lead flow. Number 2, how to fix your sales, because if you've got unreliable lead flow, then you're going to have inconsistent sales. And then number 3, client scaling. And look, we do all of the niche, everything you need to get clear on your avatar, clear on your problem. And I know you'll have seen that before, seen my ads, but again, like, it's always a next step. I'm always going to be like, jump into Clients Automation. I know some of you are going to want to do that. Some of you are, oh, I'm scared, but I promise you, it's much easier to learn the process. And then again, regardless of whether you're organic or paid, you need to understand how to really dive down into a client's problem. So yeah, grab a session on one of my team. It is a real value. Again, 70% of potential people that come through don't choose to go ahead because the plan is good enough for them. Right, and then 30% choose to go to the next stage. What we're going to do is fix the three core problems: unscalable lead flow, right, unscalable sales, and unscalable and inability to take on more clients. We'll show you how to fix them, and then you'll get a get clients plan for the next 30 days. Again, when I say a plan, it's designed either 10K, 30K, 50K, 100K months, wherever you're at. Cool. Again, all you need to do that is you go to freegrowthplan.com, or let me put it in the chat box. You can just go to, one second, let me put the link up if you want to jump in on that. Again, we've got, I can't take hundreds of you on, right? So we only have a set availability. If you click the link, right, what will happen is you'll go through to a registration form, and then you can see exactly how many sessions are completely free for you. Okay, cool. That's that there. Right, that being said, I think I'm over an hour. I'm over in 10. I'm just conscious of the replay. If you are watching the replay and some of your friends have sent you this and you want to join the expert coach community, it's going to be amazing. Like, we're going to do sessions continually like this, and my goal here is to give you the confidence that you need and be a free resource for you so that you can become an amazing coach. If you do want to work with us at Clients and Automation, that would be the next step. That'd be amazing, if that's what you want. And again, like, regardless of whether you work with us or not, you do need help to market. What we can do is what we do is very different. We're not here to teach you loads of things. We'll teach you a very concise process. So let me do some like check your chat box and the Q&A. How do I how to apply this to group coaching. So group coaching, Maria, like group coaching is, again, like you've got to get clear on the outcome for your client, right? Once you're clear on the outcome for your client and you've run one-to-one coaching sessions, like if you've done lots of one-to-one coaching sessions, you should know that you repeat the same things over and over again. So therefore create a module around the same things that you talk about over and over again. And then group sessions are no different to one-to-one sessions, right? So say, for example, I had an anxiety training, right? Or any niche, it doesn't matter. Like pick a niche, it really doesn't matter, right? My goal would be to take them through anxiety frameworks so that they have to go through tasking, right? And I create frameworks around how they manage their mind, how they do that. And then they get live sessions with me twice a week so that they can ask any of their questions. At the most, we've had 500 people go through clients and automation in 1 month. And we have live clinics every single day. We never get more than 30 people on the live clinics, possibly like now because we've got so many live clinics, right? We get possibly 7 to 10 on the live clinics. So even if you were just starting, right? And you had all your live sessions with your clients, you could give them that to go through, do a bit of one-to-one support, open your live Q&A sessions, right? Twice a week, and you coach them live. What problems do you have? Okay, let me help you through that problem. And then you do a live coaching session with them, task them. And, as I said, if you had 3 people there and only one of them's like, but I can't do this. And you're like, what is it you can't do? Tell me about it. So you do a live session, and it's no, whether there's 10 people watching, 20, 50, 100, it makes no difference. It's, live coaching and group coaching is, for some of you, a challenge. I get it, but it's actually way more beneficial for the client, because you guys are sitting here. I'm talking to you, Maria Garcia. I'm just asking your question, right? So this is one-on-one with you, and the others are sitting there listening. And so some are going, yeah, this is cool. I didn't think about group coaching like that. But they didn't ask it because they didn't know about it. It brings awareness to their problem in a different way. Okay, makes sense. How do I overcome the issue with money, shame, or money? Steve, I'm definitely going to do some live sessions coaching with you guys so that you come in and I'll follow the process. So I diagnose the problem, right? We break it. So we're diagnosing the problem. If you haven't got to that part yet in the expert coach, we are breaking down not what they're saying with their language. I'm listening to statements of how they language. So if Steve and I were doing it now, I would be asking questions around how do you know that's a problem? Steve, are you here? Just do it quickly. It's just, we'd ask questions about, so Steve, tell me more about your problem. How do you know you've had it? How long have you had it for? Okay, and what do you believe about that? And who told you that? Where did that, and what's that belief stopping you? And what we do is just dig around that, right? And so then I'd hear what Steve has to say, and then I'd start to unveil the belief that's holding that in place. Okay, I'd look to break that with some language patterns, and then I'm looking to compound on that so that I can either retrain a new habit, so give him some tasking, get into the root of that, give him some tasking, and then hold him accountable, and then sell him on the next session so that he keeps coming back. It's very simple. It's questioning techniques, basically. In essence, all transformation is language. That's it. All right, makes sense. Any other specific? Steve said he's here. How much should I charge as a small business coach? Again, like it's not like, so you have to look at the market, look at how much. Again, like it's, when you look at charging, you have like some estimations of what you can charge. Like, again, depends on specific outcome for client, right? The more specific the outcome, and can you justify the value of the outcome? Like starting 1,500 is easy for any niche, 2,500. But again, like, so for example, like you have to be able to justify, is that worth it? Right. So for example, if you can save someone 2,500 plus by spending, 2,000, by spending 2.5 months, then it's easy. it's not. I hear you, Jerome. A lot of people say charge what you feel it's worth. It's actually justifying it. So it's a little bit more detailed. Like, so for example, if you're going to help someone fix their funnel, right, and their funnel's losing 10 grand a month, and they've had that problem for 6 months, right? They have lost 60,000. So you can charge less than 60,000, right? But you could charge 10 grand because in contrast to 60,000, they're already losing 10 grand a month. Do you know what I mean? So therefore, if you understand what's the value for them, like a divorce, if you stop a client going into a divorce that's going to go into 100, their estimation of 100 grand on a divorce, then you can charge 3.5 grand for divorce consultancy to avoid that. Again, you have to build it up. The more clients, the goal is not to charge straight off the back. The goal is to get clients in, build up your expertise, and start charging more as you start to become more worthy. Like within clients automation, we charge a very decent price. All right, we give you, if you want a legal contract for your clients, you could pay 4 grand for one. You could pay 6 grand, right? If you wanted a call application funnel, you can pay 20 grand. So it's like we give you all of that. The actual asset value of the individual components is worth 89 grand. And so I never used to. Over a period of time, I built these assets and I give them to my clients as well. So there's a more perceived value within it. Some things are more valuable, some things aren't to some people. Some people are, oh, I don't care about a contract. Then go to court and see how you go, how you get on. I spoke to a client today. She's never recorded any of her sessions. And I was like, not good. You have to record those sessions because if anything comes back to you, you got to document, record, and contract your clients. That's why we give it to you, because you have to. You get called out on that, it's not going to be cool. Any other questions? You guys are doing fabulous. All right. Any advice about the change or growth? One-to-one, one-to-many, again, is a beautiful process. It's just transition it slowly. Like if you've got one-to-one clients already, then it's easy to, pick the ones you want to renew. And if they don't renew, reduce your fee and put them on a one-to-one session. Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry, a one-to-many session. So for example, like when I was a personal trainer, I was stuck one-to-one. And then what I'd do is I'd transition them into a one-to-many offer. And I got to a stage where they were buying 12-week programs and I was only doing 15-minute sessions with them. People were like, how did you get to that? You transition people. And then you always have clients renewing, right? Or coming to an end of a package. Maybe they come to an end, they don't want to renew. Okay, cool. Join my group training. I'm giving it to a couple of my live clients, so you can get an extra 2 months for free. You've got nothing to do. You put someone in your one-to-many. And of course, it's a little bit at first, but as more clients, you need to get more clients coming through. And then as more clients come through, they used to get, like if today's Wednesday, yesterday was Tuesday, you're doing one-to-one. Now you're going to offer a one-to-one with a little bit of group in there. So tomorrow, your offer has 6 one-to-ones instead of 12, and you have live support in there as well. Cool. Hannah, you got to go. You guys go. Steve, oh man, I just seen, yes, you're here. Oh, that's a shame. Steve, do you want to come quickly answer those questions? Answer live? Do you want to answer live just quick? If I click this, I think you'll come. You would like to answer this question live? Steve. Elena, I'm excited. I did one-to-one for 18 years. Amazing. Guys, you've been fabulous today. I think Steve has gone. But like, guys, great session. What I'll do next time, and look, I'm going to build some consistency. Let's aim for every other week so that we build up a contingent. If you can, please bring some friends. I really appreciate you. And again, like, if you're getting value from it, I appreciate that. And again, like, honestly, coaching saved my life. Like, and in today's market, I know it's difficult to trust. I know that it can be hard to find people to trust. I know that most people have bought a program and been let down. And I've been there too. I spent my first funnel, I spent 27 grand, 200. And then when I left that company, they kept the funnel. And so, I spent 25 grand on an HSBC consultant when I was 24. I'd never spent so much on a business consultant. And we did 8 sessions. And I left going, I'm not sure what that was really all about, because I'm already doing a lot of that. But it gave me the belief to realize that I was actually very good at what I was doing. And because of that, I ended up charging 2 years down the line my first consultancy for 20 grand. And it was because I'd paid 25 grand to that HSBC consultant. So sometimes you learn some stuff, sometimes you don't. But either way, you're always getting more value. And as coaches, consultants, the more you invest in yourself, the bigger your brain becomes, the more knowledge you become, the more valuable your offer comes. Like, so for example, if Tom has invested 100 grand into his business skills, he's legit worth 100 grand. But if Tom has invested nothing into his skill and he learned all his stuff on YouTube for free, he's going to have a tough time teaching other people stuff. Why? Because he never bought anything. So like it's paradoxical when people go, like, I just learned it for free on YouTube. The reason that YouTube is free is because people like me and you are going to run ads on it. And that's why it's free. Only 10% of the world can be in that wealth segment, right? 85% of the wealth world is owned by 10%. And the reason that social medias are free is because of ads, right? So you either join those people that are running ads, or you spend your life consuming from information from the rest of the world. So it's your choice. You have to become either a creator or a consumer. And I would say creator, become an entrepreneur, become a business person, understand this world, leverage it, and make a difference. So look, that being said, amazing. Send this out to some people on the replay. I'm going to send you an easy link so you can send it out. And I'm excited. Let me know some feedback in the group. If you haven't joined already, join www.freeexpertcoach.com. I've just put some gaps in there. There doesn't really have a gap. It's so that you can see there's two separate words from the free. So it just, it's all one word. Okay. And then if you do want clients and you haven't already, jump in and get a free growth plan. It is real value of $500, but that's what we sell our consultancy service for. However, you're going to get it completely for free, and they'll talk you and walk you through exactly how to get clients. And you use it for any, there's been sessions, for example, Jessica was on a session now. I had a session with Jessica and, talked and walked her through what she needed to do. And, she wasn't ready to join Clients Automation because she already bought someone else's program. I was like, what? Get out of it. I mean, why would you? But like, she still has a great session. We get to meet, I get to help, etc. And so it's still super high value. It's not a pushy sales process. If it's not right for you to join Clients Automation, then we wouldn't walk you down that. So that being said, I'll see you soon, and I'll let you know when the next one is. And look, I'll do a live coaching session. I know I didn't get a chance to go through Olga's specifically diagnose, and I can do all of that on the next session. If you have more specific questions, let's go. High five. Thank you for being amazing. I appreciate you. Send this to your friends. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing one. Bye.